This is the Miguron Knives Pagos. I don't know much about this company, Miguron Knives. They are new to me, and I think they are just new in general. I've been seeing a lot of videos about some of their new knives coming out. This is the Pagos serial number M390 blade steel, carbon fiber and titanium. Designer Sam Luo, I'm not sure how that's pronounced. This was produced on June 29th, 2021. This is not my knife. This came to me through Pass Around Group, and it's an impressive knife. Not necessarily my ball of wax or my cup of tea or whatever you want to say there, but that doesn't mean I can't appreciate how beautifully, nicely made this is, and how it's got a pretty impressive design. It is a front flipper, which is, let's see, it's all right. It's pretty easy to use. I do not have the most practiced thumbs and hands for front flippers. I do like to do this though, with the forefinger. I think that's kind of cool. Though I stabbed myself in the hand many times doing that back when I had the Best Tech. What the hell was it called? All right, whatever. You're experiencing a senior moment. All right, let's take a close-up look at this. Really nice milling on here, very tight corduroy pattern, if you will. I saw this when I first pulled it out of the box, and it reminded me immediately of a Tucson Knives. So I inquired around a little bit, found out that they are indeed their own separate company, but you see this kind of milling on Tucson Knives often. So really nice, nicely done titanium frame lock. I like this sort of 3 small cutouts instead of 1 large cutout, especially when the cutout is on the outside and not on the inside. When it's on the outside, there's this myth, I don't know if it's a myth, I guess technically it's true, that when you remove the metal from the outside, it leaves more metal on the inside, making it stronger because it's more in line with the tang than otherwise, because the idea being if too much pressure is placed on the tang and your cutout is on the inside, it could pop out this way. I can't imagine what universe that would happen in, but I don't think in ours. But in any case, I do like the aesthetic of this, and I like the theory behind it. Let me put it that way. You have a steel lock bar insert here, so you're dealing with some, well, okay, I'll save that thought for a moment later. But you've got this steel lock bar insert. You've got anodized pivot collars, a nice, that's their logo, Miguron Knives. Really refined chamfering around that just looks and feels good in hand. I mean, this is becoming more and more important to me. I've just taken a look at how people knock the edge or the corner off the periphery of a knife handle, and I think they did a really nice job here. I also like when the chamfers change dimensions. Here it broadens out, here it's real thin. So, well, for what that's worth. You've got a pocket clip. I like the way they canted it up onto the handle instead of onto the lock or 50-50. I just think that you're just in better waters when you do it that way. You don't have to worry about making it harder to disengage because you're pressing on the clip, which is pressing on the lock. You can actually use the clip as mooring for your fingers when you're opening it, so that you're not, again, depressing the lock and making it more difficult to open. So I like that. Let's take a quick look at these inlays. Marble carbon fiber inlays, and as far as carbon fiber goes, the more exotic and different, the more I like it. So I'm pretty fond of this. I'm just not crazy about the tight weave, regular weave carbon fiber in terms of looks. So I like the look of this. If you look closely, this is pretty good. A little bit of gapping, and there's a little bit of gapping on this side. Let's see. Yeah, right in that area. Here, let me use a knife as a pointer. Right here, you see a little extra space. I mean, I'm picking nits right now. This is not a handmade knife, and this is a mass manufactured knife from China. So I would imagine that in the process, you know, stuff like this happens, and it's not a big deal. You can barely feel, you know, you can feel the transition a little bit. You can feel it here. And of course you have the texture here. You're going from a smooth texture to a rough, or to a textured surface there. So naturally you're going to feel that transition. But I'm talking more about how the carbon fiber fits in the handle. And I have to say, it does, it's fine. It's fine. I just see that and I'm like, eh. But, all right, so let's move forward. This blade shape, I like this blade shape with the straight spine. It reminds me of a traditional Russian knife, whose name I can't remember at this point. Geez, a lot of not remembering in this video. You'll have to forgive me. But I do like when knives have this straight spine, straight from the knife onto the handle. Something about that is appealing because it just means it's a more neutral shape. And it also means that with a more neutral shape, you have more grips and more ways to make it a comfortable knife. You know, when you have the curves and the choils and all that, and the finger grooves, that can be really nice too, especially when you sink it right in the way it should be. But then when you change grips, sometimes you have trouble. So you have a very substantial 4-finger groove here to keep you in place, and that's all it needs, you know. And in some other handholds, say you need to hold the knife like this, it's not like you have a bunch of peaks that are, you know, the partitions of the finger grooves going into the palm of your hand. It's just a pretty neutral handle. So I like that about this this knife. So we were looking at the blade, straight spine blade. You got a nice fuller on both sides, which you cannot, I don't care who you are, you cannot Spidey flick using that. So if you were thinking about it, stop. But you can use the blue anodized thumb studs to do a nice bit of Spidey flicking. Of course, you can use the regular thumb stud, or you can use this. They're calling this an inline flipper now. What do you think of that? Inline flipper. I don't know. Front flipper worked for me, but inline flipper, who knows? Maybe that's a more accurate way of describing these kind of opening things. They can be very fun, front flippers, for me. They can be very fun. They have not won my heart yet. They will never truly and completely win my heart. It's awkward to me. It's a little awkward, but interesting, innovative, an interesting innovation from the last 5 or so years in the knife world. So, you know, I'm not griping or anything. But if this were my knife and I used it daily, I'm pretty sure that thumb stud is how I would open this, because the thumb stud action is really awesome on this knife. The action is very smooth. As you can see, it drops shut, which seems to be a prerequisite these days for a bearing knife for sure. So very nice there. M390, this is a high height hollow grind or flat grind. I don't think it goes all the way. Yeah, I guess that's a full flat grind, right? Let me see. Well, yeah, well, it'll do until the full flat grind gets here anyway. Very nice sharpening choil that allows you to clear the front of the handle completely, which I like. Like I said, M390 steel came very sharp to me. Gets very thin behind the edge. And yeah, so for my first taste of a Miguron knife, I'm quite impressed. I was looking at their website earlier, and most of their knives are in the $50 range, but they have a few that are much more expensive. And I do believe, I did not see this on their website right now, must be all sold out, but I would have to assume that with M390 steel, nicely milled titanium, with little features and like the anodization here, and the carbon fiber and the inlay and all of that goes into this. I would imagine this is on their more expensive, sort of $250 range of knives. But just a real nice knife. Let me show it with a couple of comparisons. What is this? 3 3/4 inch blade, 3 1/4 inches. Let me show you with couple of others here. Let's see. Let's just for size. Here's your PM2. Got a longer blade, longer handle, and then here's your 3-inch, 3-inch bladed knife. This is the Mark One, the RSK Mark One from Hogue and Ritter. So you see, it's kind of in that middle realm. Let's see, a couple of other knives that I want to show it with. Here it is with the Holiday from Finch Knives, just about the same blade length. I love this thing. I highly recommend these, the Finch Knives altogether, but I think the Holiday is my favorite. I think, I'm not sure. Here it is with the Rockwall by Tactile Knives, another company that does incredible milling. I mean, that's their métier. They started out making pens with tactile turn and, tactile. It's in the name, so they're really accomplished millers. By the way, their brand new slip joint, the Bexar, just dropped, and I just got the email saying, now you can order one. So I might be doing that. Here, the Miguron Pagos is with one of my faves. I love this knife so much. This is the Vero Synapse. And sorry, I said faves. It's like people who say sush instead of sushi. But this knife is so incredible. This is not an inline flipper, but it's inline kind of down on this side, right? You've got that tang flipper, the bolster's cut away here to reveal the bottom part of the tang. You jimp the tang and boom. Now, the first time I ever saw flippers like this is when people were modding the Quaken, the Lucas Burnley Boker Quaken. People were taking them when it was just a thumb disc knife, and they were modding them by just grinding down this bit of the bolster and unsquaring it and putting a divot there so that you could access the tang. Pretty smart. So there's that, and a couple more. Let's see, here it is with the vaunted Sage 2. Love this knife. Is this the 2 or the 3? The 2. This is the Sage 2. And last but not least, here it is with your Concept Pelican, designed by K. Maxram of France. Beautiful, beautiful knife. Love this one. So there you have it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video on the Miguron Pagos from a new company from China, or at least new to me, new to the knife world, it seems. Oh, by the way, I just have to say this. I hate it when the cutout here isn't chamfered. A lot of really great knives that I have from a lot of really great knife companies don't take the time to do that. And so I do appreciate that. And that's the little chamfer right here in the lock bar cutout. So it's not planing off flesh every time you brush by it. So all that being said, thanks for watching. M390 titanium inlaid marble carbon fiber, new company, Miguron. Check it out.